Well, right, I've just had a fake Nando's from, where was it, Meg? Perry
in Ingleby Bower.
Perry in Ingleby Bower. And like when we got that Nando's before, I normally get like chicken thighs and rice. And what was it before? It's like 15 quid, isn't it, from Nando's? Like spicy rice and thighs, and that was $7.50.
Oh wow, that's way better.
It was gorgeous. So yeah, you
So
can
now-
have it.
Now everyone knows I can have it. I just can't have it because I don't live close enough.
Yeah, you can't have Perry from Ingleby Bower, can you?
No.
Not unless you want it stone cold and Royal Mail next day. Anyway, yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah, I'm good. You?
Yes, very good.
You clean the rice off your table.
Yeah. And out my teeth, like that.
Out your teeth. Oh no, terrible. So what is today's topic we're going to be talking about is how you handle difficult customers.
Yeah, and I don't have many of them. I actually don't. I really don't.
I mean, I could do a whole episode on this about how I handle you.
could. Yeah, that actually you very easily do that. But I do have some, and it's usually that they're just absolute assholes. Like I don't often get knobhead clients or like bad clients. It's either that they're all really like nice and, you know, some of them, you know, you've got different types of clients. Your clients who want to go into every bit of detail, who appreciate all the information. You've got some clients who you can feel them literally rolling their eyes and just like, just tell me what I need, just tell me what I get. It's a very big like reading game, I think, dealing with clients. But when I have had difficult clients, they are really difficult clients. And one I've had a lot, not a lot, I've had a few. And I had a few in a very short space of time, which really wound me up. So if they are listening and they can hear me saying this, I hope you know it's about you. Like other companies literally making fake customers, doing forms, booking out my calendar, having time in my diary. One of them done it twice in one day. And it just being unknown number. Then when you email it, undeliverable email address, you can see like, when it's happened about 4 times in the last 3 weeks. And the first time it happened, like Millie was like, this is a bit weird. I was like, yeah, that is a bit weird actually. And she sent me like the results of the form, and I was like, it was very, you know, like just sort of like yes, no, yes, like 2. You know, like as if someone's like done a test paper and just like went A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D.
Just done it all, yeah.
So I was like, it's a bit weird. And then it happened again. And I was like, that's the same person that has to be, because it's 2. It was the direct opposite of it. You know, like basically like doing different outcomes. And I thought, you know what? If you want to see what I do and you want to know how I do it and how I speak to clients, 1, feel free to message me. But 2, if you're that desperate that you want to pretend you're a person and
so
go
they're going through the form to find out what you're saying on the form. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Right, to see how I do it, to see like what I say, to see what I ask them, to see how I'm capturing information. Then at the end of it, they're booking in an appointment with me. And that was the bit that pissed me off, because I was like, why are you, like, you're literally booking out time in my diary that I could be speaking to clients and spending my time away from my kids with clients. And instead it's just fake appointments, which is very annoying and very difficult because there's nothing I can do about it. Can't email them because the email address doesn't exist. I can't ring them because the phone number's not real. So yeah, just use a twat, whoever it is.
That's an annoying one. That, I mean, I know the annoyance of someone filling your diary. When people fill my diary, like when people do that winds me up. I had someone a couple of weeks ago say like, "Can I have a chat to you before our podcast?" And so they're coming on for an hour, and then I was like, no, like that's the idea of the podcast. We're having a chat then. Why do I want to speak to you before? No. And it is annoying when someone does
with stuff like that though than I am. Like it's like again, like with difficult customers, like say I've had a couple like big ones that stay in my mind. A common theme with difficult customers, I think, is either cost. So like dealing with a difficult customer in terms of like they do not understand the cost inside of it and they do not see the value in what you're doing. That's really frustrating because as an advisor, you don't get paid until the client's covered. Yeah. So it's not like we do all that work. Like it's always the same for me. Other people might think it's different, but it's always either people who don't want to spend more than 3 pence, want to know the ins and outs of everything. They want to understand why it's 3 pence and not 2.5 pence, and why so and so's paying 1 pence and they're, and you're like, do you know what? I had someone once say to me, can you not even just bring it down by like 2 pence? And I was like, do you want me to give you the 2 pence? Like, what's the issue? Like, it's 2 pence.
Set a direct debit up. I'll give you £1 now, and you can have the rest of
like, no, I can't. Like, this isn't like they have this perception that it's like a Del Boy thing. Like, you know, we'll barter about price. That the price is the price you want. That's fine. We can do less cover. It'll be 2 pence cheaper, but then you'll have to lose £50 off your life insurance. Like, that's fine. Like, and they don't get it. And it's like they think you're playing games. And it's so frustrating because they don't see the value in what you do. And because every client asks whether, you know, I don't know how much they're going to spend before I do all their research and before I do all their underwriting. So I'm like, you feel like saying, and I have done a couple of times, I've said, like, you know, no disrespect, but I've spent 8 hours on this case. I've researched everyone. I'm not just coming on the phone and saying, yeah, go with them, that's the cheapest, and it's took me 2 minutes. I've put time and effort into making sure you're getting the best option available. And they give no cares whatsoever. They're not bothered. They don't appreciate the work you've put in. They don't appreciate the time you've took to be able to give them good advice. They think that you're just trying to sell them something. You're never going to change those type of clients ever. And honestly, I used to really like do everything I could to try and, I suppose, like show them that that's not what type of person I was, and show them I wasn't trying to be a salesman. But at the end of the day, they don't appreciate what you're doing. So either draw a line under it and move on and just say, that's fine, no problem, go online, or you accept the fact that they just don't see the value in what you're doing. Like, that's it. You're not going to convince them of it.
Do you find them to be confrontational? Do they ever get like?
I've
have you
only
ever
ever
had
had,
anyone being really
I've had
confrontational
2.
to you?
In 4 years, I've had 2.
Okay.
One basically come on the phone, and literally it got to the point where I put them on loudspeaker because I was getting, like, I wouldn't say intimidated. I was getting, obviously, Meg, I know you're probably not listening, but can you remember which one I'm on about? Where that client where I put on loudspeaker and I was like, is this me or what? And everything I said, they were like, no, well, why are you? And I was like, what? Like, and I remember sitting thinking, is it me? Am I being like touchy? And obviously I'm not a touchy person. And I put on loudspeaker and Meg and Millie were, and they were like, I was like, so what would you like? I said something like, the first thing I said, I was like, oh, would you like me to go through? I always say to clients, because there's no worse than when I used to do car insurance on the phones, and you could literally, when we've all been there, where they've started reading you out about the breakdown policy and about the motor legal policy, and you cringe and thinking, please shut up, I just want to get off the phone.
Yeah.
I always say to clients, right, do you want me to explain the overview of the product? Like, is there any gaps you want me to fill in? I don't want to just be talking and you be rolling your eyes at me. So tell me what you're most concerned about, and we'll start there. And I always say something like that. And this client went to me. I said, right, so what parts would you like me to fill in, like what you're most concerned about? Well, isn't that your job? Sorry. And I was like, oh, well, yeah. Like, at first I was like, maybe they're just like one of those people. Like, yeah, like that's fine. I'll run over them. Right. And then when I explained it, right, does that make sense? Not really, no. Okay. Which part makes sense? All of it. Okay. Right. So do you want me to go over it again? Well, how long is this going to take? And I'm like, oh my God. And then it was like everything I was saying. Then it was basically they were trying to get me to explain every single little thing. And then once I'd explained it all, then were telling me I was wrong.
Yeah,
like,
catch you out, isn't it? It's like a gotcha type thing where it's like a...
Like, he said something like, I said about the life and critical illness. Well, do you think I need it or not? I said, well, it's not my job to tell you what you do or don't need. I'm here to tell you what's available, and you tell me what you want. I can't tell you what to have. So what's the point in doing what you do then? What's the point in speaking to you if you can't tell me what to do? Like, that isn't that the whole point of you? Are you not a professional? Are you not the expert? Why would I be literally talking to me like that? And in the end I went, and it got to a point, I was on the phone for about 20 minutes. In the end I said, look, I'm not being funny, but you clearly know more than I do. So why don't you just sort your own insurance out? Because I'm not giving you what you need. Like, I'm not good enough for you. And he's like, I'm not saying that. I said, no, I'm not saying you are. I'm just telling you that I feel as if I'm not going to be able to give you the service you need from me. Yeah. So I think it's wise that you just go elsewhere. And he was like, he basically then started backtracking and said, no, well, tell me what the price will be, blah, blah. And in the end, I was just like, right, here, there. I'm just going to give you what you're asking for. I'm not even going to, and I just told them. And then obviously never come back, never done anything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but it was really, you know, when something bothers you for days, where you're like sat and you're like, I should have said this, I should have said that.
Have you ever lost it with a client though, like that? Have you ever like lost your temper? I mean, I have, so that's why I was curious as to know if you ever have had like
I wouldn't say I lost my temper.
I mean, I've told a client to fuck off once.
Have you? No.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
I mean, I might mute them and say that, but I don't.
It worked as well. It did work, and I got the business, but I was an active. Yeah, I did. That's why I was curious. Yeah.
No, I think the worst I've ever done.
Not in this, in mortgages, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, not in this. It was mortgage years ago. It was what it was, and you'll get this. Meg will get this because of fees. What it was, just over. It's not about, but it was purely. I had this client, and actually they live local here, and they're actually quite friendly, still. But I worked with them at this place. I worked with them for like nearly 3 years because they were doctors and they couldn't find a house, and we just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and they were great. And I was like, they had my mobile number. We were chatting, and then they finally found a house which I helped them find. You know, it was like that involved. And then we sat down for dinner. We went for dinner with them. Like it was like, and then they were like, I went for dinner with them to like do all the paperwork with them. Took them out for a meal, and they got to the fee, and they went, well, it's just a thing about your fee. We need to discuss that. And that already presented my fee many times over because of 3 years, and I literally looked at them and I went, I was like, oh, you're joking, aren't you? And they were like, no, well, we're just not very comfortable paying. At the time it was like 700. We're not comfortable paying the £700 fee. And I was in the dinner and I got up and I shut my laptop and I said, I think you're a fucking rude and I'm just going to leave right now. And I just left and I just walked out. And then and I was, because I was just so angry because I felt like a mug. I felt like an absolute, as in the whole mug the whole time. And then the next day, he rang. I walked into my boss and said, "Oh, this is what happened." And they were all like, "What? Why did you do, like? You're going to get complaint. You're going to get this." And I was like, "I don't know, but like we'll see." And then they rang me and they're like, "We're so sorry. We didn't mean to offend you." You know, because they got it, but it was just some people try it. But that was one of those moments, a bit like you, where I was thinking, "Shit, why did I?" Because I got up, I just shut the laptop and I was like, "Fuck off!" Like no, because I was so angry. Because he'd got, like 3 years of it. And then like me, yeah.
Goodbye.
I literally just got up and walked off. And then I got in the car and they'd obviously left them to pay the bill and everything. So I was just like, no, you can piss off. And then the next day they rang and then I met them again for a coffee and they were like, here's the fee. And then they gave me like a little bonus as well, which was really funny. Because they're really sweet. And they literally, I still see them now, like, and during COVID and stuff, like they were great during COVID. And but at that time, like they weren't a difficult customer, but I did tell them, I was like, yeah. So I was wondering if you ever.
My story's shite compared to that. I've never told anyone to F off.
Are you not? No.
Bloody hell, no, I wouldn't dare. Like I've had people where I'm like, that's fine, no problem. Like some people you're never gonna please, and they're gonna be difficult, and that's why I think I love. Actually, I'm lying. It's I love and a hate relationship. I love clients who've got a bad medical because they're either very, very grateful and really, really like appreciative of what you've done. They're really like that everything you say they listen to because they know that you've put the work in and they're grateful for the effort. Then you've got the other side who are going, well, my friend's paying £5. I'm like, well, your friend doesn't have a BMI of 43, have a heart problem and have high blood pressure, unfortunately. Like, if you're real. And you sit and you think, I've done all of this work. Like, I know, like, you've got a £5 budget, £10 budget, and I could have just turned around and went, no, sorry, I can't get you any cover, and left it. I haven't. I've got your cover that you want. You said you had a budget of X. I've got it within that. Just a little bit too expensive, and that's the times when I feel like saying, do you know what, like I don't need this, it's not even about the money, it's about the time and the feeling valued for what you've done. I absolutely say it all the time, there's nothing better than when you get a client who values what you've done, who like literally is like, thank you so much, I really appreciate it, like sends you a message and says like, thank you for trying so hard to get us cover, like it's been such a nightmare. I love that. I don't care what you spend, as long as you appreciate that I've put the effort in, then I'm buzzing. But when clients just treat you as if you're like, I don't know, like even like down to everything that you do in life, like if you go to McDonald's, you say please and thank you. If you go to a car wash, you say please and thank you. If someone's done a good job, go, thanks very much, that was like blah blah. They're like, when I feel like sometimes you get clients who just literally think you're just some little Doyle who's there to do what they want.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it. And like, yeah, well, I want this, but I don't need to spend more than that. All right, fine. That's fine.
Does it bother you though? So this is the thing that, like, so I struggle with this, is I really struggle with taking things home. So like, does it bother you now, or are you able to switch off? I know it would have potentially bothered you when I first met you, because you're a lot calmer now. But like, I really struggle. So if someone like leaves, or like, you know, says we're not going to work together, whatever, or I'm like, even now, like definitely now, even now, like, but even when I was an advisor, like I would really struggle. I'd sit at home and I'd be like, oh, and it would be silly, because it'd be like something really stupid.
Yeah.
That, you know, and financially, like one client recently where I was like they've gone, and I wanted them to go. But when you get the message, you're like, oh, no, like why? Like, it's just, do you ever get that?
So,
or can you switch off now?
No, luckily, touch wood, I can honestly say I could probably count on this hand how many times I've had a client say to me, apart from those people I've just been talking about there, where they're just absolute waste of time. I mean, like people like who you've had a good relationship with, who like you've gone back and forth, there's like a good rapport. I can count on this hand how many times they've said, I've had someone who goes, actually, no, after thinking about it, we're not going to bother, or we've seen this, or we've had someone else. And when it does happen, it's happened once in the last 6 months. And I did this this client a full, like, they wanted everything, and it's always so annoying, because they're like, they want the best of everything. They want the upgraded cover, they want the life cover, they want everything doing. And then you like give them it, like, yeah, great, blah blah, anything else, do you want any other different options? No, that's brilliant, really happy with that, blah blah. Do you want to go ahead, like a week later or whatever, do you want to go ahead? No, we actually got it cheaper with someone else. And I'm like, and I literally I nearly put, will you please send me what you've got? Because I want to see what you've got, because cheaper doesn't mean that it's better. Cheaper means that you've negotiated
on something away. Yeah,
something's not there. And I didn't. A year or so ago, I'd have said, sorry, what have you been given? Or can I have a look at what you've got? Or like, can you just like explain? I just said, absolutely no problem at all. Glad you've got covered. You've been insured is the main thing, take care. And I left it. And it did bother me for about 3 days. Yeah. But normally that would have played on me for days and days and days. And it didn't, because I think I've just grown to realise that you're not going to get them all. You
can't. I think that's an interesting point. I think that's the bit that I find, like, that bit I find really hard. I remember learning this from like when I think I said it before on this show before, like when I went to be a mortgage advisor from being an estate agent, I remember thinking they're all going to be like when I told my boss, I remember him thinking he's going to be like, no, please stay. And like, and I remember learning a lesson from him, which was like, he just was like, okay, cool. And I remember thinking like, and we were like super close. Like he was like a father figure, and he was like, cool, all right, fine. Good luck. And I was like, and he said, what do you want me to say? And I remember him leaving. Then I saw him afterwards, and it bugged me. And it was because, and he said me there, it was because he didn't get the reaction I thought would happen, which is when you think someone's going to go, I thought he was going to be like, no, how do you leave? Well, let me find, how can we do to stay? But it was just like, cool. And he just said, he was like, I'm not going to let you dictate how I react to your situation. That's fine. You do what's best for you. Thank you very much. And I remember thinking, and it was his final lesson to me by far. And it was amazing, because it is that, where when that client sends you that thing, like there are so many times where a client will send me and they're like, we've decided that it's not working. Like my best ones, we've decided it's not been working. And I'm like, you are literally making like 6 times more money than what we did when we first met. It's not working though, because I can't social media. I'm like, no, it's not social media. It's the whole fucking thing. Like, you don't get it. But you would just go, cool, no worries. Or like someone else, and it's like, it's not working. And then 6 weeks later, they're putting posts about how it's blowing up. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And it is, and it's hard. I struggle with that. So, and I know you were very similar to me. You're very similar, wired, very similar. So that's good that you're not like that.
I've grown up a little bit,
You
matured.
changed loads, because like before, it would have been on the call going, "Fucking hell, Ash, I'm gonna get a hitman and kill him."
I've matured on that front a little bit now. I've
A lot
understood
more.
that you can't get everyone.
What parting words would you have on this episode?
That it's not, do you know what? It's not worth your sanity trying to think that you're going to capture and please everyone. You're not. So people you can't please, just cross a line or under and move on and carry on with it, because there's plenty more others that